Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Lori Langdon, a board-certified pediatrician, mother of 6 and grandmother to 2, with what I hope is a very practical video today. So today's topic is co-sleeping. Let's first define some terms. Co-sleeping can mean bedroom sharing, and it can also mean bed sharing. So room sharing and bed sharing are two very different things. Let me remind you, and this is critically important, the American Academy of Pediatrics encourages room sharing for the first 6 to 12 months of life because it's been shown to reduce the risk of SIDS. We 100% discourage bed sharing for the first year of life. So we know that infants under 1 year of age are at great risk for sudden infant death syndrome. In fact, 90% of the cases happen before 6 months of age. So it's really those first 6 months of life when we are particularly absolutely opposed to bed sharing, because there could be soft bedding, there could be sheets and pillows and quilts and parents' bodies and all sorts of sources of danger and harm. So absolutely no one from the American Academy of Pediatrics or any pediatrician worth their salt would say, oh, it's okay, you nurse the baby, you place the baby beside of you in the bed. Absolutely not. Now, you can have a bassinet with a firm mattress, no blankets, no pillows, no soft anything, right beside of the bed, and you can place the baby to sleep on its back just after nursing. Absolutely. We want it to be in the bedroom with you. That can make it easier when you're breastfeeding. They're closer by. If they had any trouble, you would be there to help them. That's totally fine. Now, when you're ready for the infant to move to another room, that's also, of course, totally fine. So the purpose of today's video is to talk about co-sleeping when the child's actually in your bed. So really that's bed sharing, to be more specific. And I am only talking about children over 1 year of age, okay? So there's some things we got to get straight right away. I'm going to be practical. I'm going to be transparent. This may be too TMI for you, and I'm so sorry, but I'm going to be real with you, okay? So first of all, hilarious quote from my husband, who's actually probably the child expert, having been the stay-at-home parent for 6 of our children and homeschooling all of them. He is incredible. So his famous quote is, co-sleeping is better than no sleeping. So I'm sure some of you guys have been there. So I told you I'm going to be honest with you throughout all of this. All of the experts would say, the fewer the number of people in your bed, the more sleep you will get. So if you are out for a high quality night's sleep, you're going to be better off with your toddler or older child in another room. With a monitor would be great, obviously. However, many of us end up co-sleeping. So I just want to get this straight. After a year of age, it is not wrong or evil or immoral or dangerous or harmful to co-sleep. But I do have a few little caveats for you. First of all, you may get less sleep. I told you that. In our case, in many instances, and it may be in yours as well, we got more sleep with the child in the bed with us. So it is very important that the child not receive injury. So if you were one to wildly fling about your elbows from bad dreams in the middle of the night, you don't need a child in your bed. If one of the parents has to get up to go to work extremely early and one side of the bed isn't going to prevent the child from rolling off, you need to have some kind of a fence or something, some kind of a gate apparatus on that side so they won't roll off. I have seen through the years so many kids who needed a little tissue adhesive glue, Dermabond, or staples or sutures from rolling off the bed and hitting their head on the nightstand beside of the bed. So if you're afraid your child could roll off, like your spouse gets up very early in the morning, don't have a nightstand on that side of the bed. Put pillows all along the floor. Don't have anything sharp or dangerous or hard that they could accidentally hit if they did roll off, or use some sort of device on that side of the bed so they can't roll off. Okay, so that's a caveat. The child could roll off the bed. That's a problem. Another big one is sometimes one or the other parent could feel strongly that the child should co-sleep, bed share, and the other parent feels just as strongly that they should not. So I urge you, if I were your marriage counselor, I would say you have to make this decision together. So the traditional stereotype is that maybe the mom is extra tired, and if she wants to snuggle with the toddler, bring the toddler to bed, that is a disincentive for marital relations, for example. So then the father could, or the other partner could come to resent the child being in the bed, and that could create some dysfunctional dynamics. So I tell you this now with so many things in parenting, both parents need to be on the same page and in agreement, right? So the next caveat is you cannot say that you're going to pursue the child sleeping in the crib or the toddler bed in the child's room or nursery, and then only for extreme screaming cave in and let the child come to your bed. Can you see how this sends all the wrong messages? This tells the child that if you just keep screaming longer, you might get what you want. Is that really what we want to teach them? No. So I probably need to do a separate video on sleep training, which is a wonderful thing. We personally, as a family, did not succeed or choose to do that with most of our children. Now, children are all different, guys. I hope you know that. And I saw that with ours too. So 2 of our 6 were adopted when they were 6 and 8. So I've only, in full honesty, only dealt with only 4 biological children as infants and toddlers with all their various sleep things. And one of ours, the second child, was the best baby and toddler and even teenager in the whole world. And she was chill. She got enough chill for the whole world and laid back, and she slept on her own, and she preferred to sleep in her crib. The other 3, we never even had to wash the sheets in the bassinet or the crib because they never touched them. It felt like they had to co-sleep from the time they were old enough. So I want to tell you that it's not the end of the world. All of these children are able to sleep independently now and have been for many, many years. None of them have long-term sleep disorders or problems from co-sleeping. I was coming from a place of great maternal guilt because I have a very demanding job and was often away from them for long periods of time. A lot of times when they were little, I was taking call out of town and would be gone for 36-hour periods. I would come back with at least 36 ounces of pumped breast milk from the time I was away. That was horrible. I don't know how it did it, and I would never be able to do that again. So if I had any regrets, the regrets wouldn't be co-sleeping. I can't tell you what I would give to have a toddler to snuggle up right now. Oh my goodness, it's the best. So I don't at all regret co-sleeping, possibly regret taking call out of town, but at the time financially didn't really feel like I had a choice. So we kind of had to do that at the time. Very grateful I don't have to do that currently. So we did pursue co-sleeping, but we made a choice to do that, and we as a couple, my husband and I, were completely happy to do that. And it would be a different level of video for me to explain to you how you can maintain happy marital relations despite choosing intentionally to co-sleep. And it is entirely possible with some forethought and careful planning and creativity. I promise. So what doesn't work is to say you're going to do one thing and do the other. So for example, let's say you guys have your family conference and you decide we are going to sleep train. And that's a very perfectly reasonable choice. So think of this as a fork in the road. You choose sleep training or you choose co-sleeping. You cannot choose sleep training and then go back for screaming to co-sleeping. Do you understand? It takes about 2 weeks to make or break a habit. So if you have pursued sleep training, and we tried this on the first child, we would finally feel like we were in a good place with sleep training, and then maybe it was the holidays and we had to travel back from Virginia back to North Carolina, spend the night with the grandparents, and of course the child was in the bed with us. Well, you're right back to ground zero after you've backslid and gone back to co-sleeping, right? And then finally we just decided if he's sleeping better with us, it helps my maternal guilt to have him with me so I can touch him and love him and snuggle and cuddle with him, then that's fine. Why are we feeling guilty? He's past the point of crib death. There's nothing wrong with that. So big words of advice are co-sleeping's not evil. If we're 1 year old and older, you can't do both. Pick one or the other. Make sure both parents are in agreement and that nothing unsafe could happen with bed rolling off the bed. Now, you may also ask, how do you ever get out of this? In our case, we typically would try to wean from co-sleeping once the next baby came. And we were successful with that, of course, until the last biological, and she was in our bed probably till she was about 6. But then we slightly graduated her up to sleeping with her sister because her older sister was the one that was chill and always had good sleep and also is extraordinarily maternal. So just took her under her wing and that worked out just fine. So those are my personal words of advice. Please practice safe sleeping habits, but a year and above, it is up to you. So have a family conference. I hope that helped. Thanks.